So David came in a couple of years ago and he was talking about resource shortages and the implications of that, and obviously it attracted a lot of interest, and it's an area where in my field of work I've been building up to that. We've looked at climate change, we're looking at water, and so you see the ecosystem as the growing thing, and I think for a long time a lot of the environmental message has always been just save the planet and look after the trees and hug a whale and stuff. And now, for me, having worked here for 11 years, in order to get that message through to the fund managers and the economists and the analysts, you have to put the business case and the economic case. And so this conference seems to be quite a big step towards discussing how that can be achieved, and what are the tools that can help in taking the science of ecosystems through up to a business discussion level. The UK is quite a leading area in my field of responsible investment, and a couple of weeks ago it just launched a UK National Ecosystem Evaluation or Assessment, which is attempting to put that value onto ecosystems. We've got the climate change levy as well, which surpasses political time periods and commits us to our carbon reduction targets. So I think there's lots of positives to be taken from the UK, but there does seem to be a lot more resistance as well, growing at the moment. The challenge is to take this new concept and fit it into an existing format where traditional economic theory has reigned for the last 40 years, and so what we're trying to do is create an understanding of the externalities and the cost of these externalities which haven't been valued before, and how we can take that and that information and fit it into our own models, financial models, and into our stock selection strategies. In the UK and more globally now, we've got a lot more support for this sort of work coming through from the United Nations Principles of Responsible Investment, which a lot of asset owners and asset managers have signed up to, which say how they take environmental and social and governance issues into account in their investment process. So it has been quite a strong market within this area for a while, but the understanding needs to be developed further. Okay, so I think the easiest example would be if we use climate change, and there's recognition, as the Stern report provided an economic value on what climate change could mean to our global economy in the future, and we've now got commitments to try and limit ourselves to hopefully 2-degree warming, though political support for that is also flexible. But within the EU, we've got the EU Emissions Trading Scheme, which has put a value on carbon, and that carbon previously could pollute the atmosphere for free, and now companies have to pay for that pollution. And so if you can take that, so companies have to pay for water pollution or the use of water resources, and a lot of other ecological functions which have previously been taken for granted or for free are now being recognised as having a distinct value to the macroeconomy and also at the company level. And you can also think about it, as Schroders, we have over 200 billion in assets under management, so we have exposure to a lot of companies throughout the market. Now, one company might be polluting, which might impact the productivity of another company, so we need to start thinking about how these externalities are impacting on the returns of our own portfolios, and finding ways to integrate this consideration into, well, first of all, to get acceptance for the theory, and then get the data and find tools to integrate that into the portfolio process.